Hey. Okay. So, okay, people. So, welcome to the space of oGX Consultancy. Track creating the space for you. So basically, we're going to talking about 3 drivers that we have GX and that I am focusing on. And those will be first product management, then network management, and operations. Obviously, '17, '18, sorry, which is the last year. So you can also see that we have our huge peak in summer peak. So it is the peak that we are working on, and it's fruit peak for the Americas and non-Europeans, and so on. So this is our timeline, and we, as you can see here, that we have our realization peak in June, July. So I'm just gonna check if everything is going good with this. Yes. Okay, perfect. So cool. Let's keep going. So to have more information for the product itself, here you can see the plan versus achieved. So first of all, our goal this year is 830. As you can see, last year we had 502 approvals, so we set quite a high growth rate for this year, and we're aiming for 830. And so far we are at 81 achieved approvals, so it's around 10% plan versus achieved, which is okay because as you saw in the timeline previously, most of our peak is coming from summer. So we are also trying to pull the timeline back. So the idea is to focus on March, April, May to make sure that we cover this at least like the 80% of the peak. And that's it. For the realization itself, our goal is 700. And so far we have around like 9% achieved with 60 realizations. And again, June, July is our highest realization peak based on the school timeline, based on the LC's timeline. So yeah, that's the idea. We're going to have our biggest peak during the summer peak itself. And in terms of conversion rate, here you can see that in 17-18 term, like in the entire term, 62% and 50% and 80% for applicant to accepted, then accepted to approved, then apply to approved. Here I didn't put the approved realized because approved realized is almost 90%. We have a really high goal, high results in terms of conversion. So the idea is for our term focusing on approvals and making sure that those are happening in terms of realizations. This approval realization plan that you can see in plan versus achieved is made by 83% conversion rate. So it's actually even lower. So there's a high chance that we can overachieve the realization goal. And that's the idea. So far, I put the winter peak conversion rates in applicant accepted, which is 59, accepted to approved 46, and applied to approved 27, which, as you can see, when you compare it to the entire year, is really low in this point because winter peak in Isaac in France is really slow, and most of the people are actually applying to go during summer. So this is why conversion rates are taking much longer, but it's something that we should be working on during next years. But I'm certain that we will actually overachieve the previous year numerical goals in terms of conversion rate, because if this is the result in winter, I'm sure that it's gonna be much more higher in summer. In terms of process time, we have applied to approved 25.5 days currently, and the goal is to make it 10%. How are we going to do this? Is basically going to be a hardcore SOP tracking from MC side, from LC side, and so on. It's something that we are working on. We created the SOPs with the VPs, and now the part will be tracking during the performance peak. So yeah, if you have any questions, please save until the moment that I say like, hey, okay, so questions, but also don't hesitate to write it in the comments and take notes, please. Here you can see an overall LC analysis of Global Volunteer. You can see that most of our LCs are here, like all of them are here actually, and you can see each stage until approved and what's going on and what is the conversion rate and how they are actually contributing to the national one. You can have an LC analysis based on that, and here you have the ranking. So currently our top 3, actually 5 performers are Lille, Kedge Marseille, Lyon, Sciences Po, and UDP. Those are LCs that have strictly GB focus. Actually, almost all of our LCs are GB focused because, as I told you before, we have almost 80% of our results in this product, and all these LCs, as you can see here, are right now kind of, how to say, so they're not high performance, either of them actually. So that's why they are in the OD model also in the lowest rank. That's why they should be focusing on one product. And since OGB is one of the most sustainable products that we have, this is the focus for each one of them. But this is the overall. And I'm going to show you this once, but if you can see later, you can check it. This is the master tracker of CXY, which is customer experience for youth in oGX. This is the name that we're using in Isaac in France. And here you can see all the people, all the LCs and all the products that I'm gonna also share with you. Here you can have the overall dashboard. So how's it going with overall and for each product. Then you have here our IR partners, search tools, and the SOPs that we created with the VPs. And I'm also collecting right now the planning, so you can also see them here. And if you want to take a good look at this tool, well, you can go ahead and click. It's open to everyone, but that's the idea. Okay, so what is the main bottlenecks in this product? First, lack of focus. So I was saying that all the LCs are focusing. That's, of course, the ideal situation, and this is the thing that we are proposing from the MC side. However, there's a lack of knowledge in the LC level in terms of product and in terms of focus. And so I would say the focus management is really low. It's coming also from not understanding the market and life of an Isaacer being super short and transition per se. So like when, for example, you can have a response from a VP like, no, I'm selling all of them, and okay, they're selling all of them. So there is really low focus management. And third thing that I want to speak about is lack of planning. So the first semester, it was really interesting for tracking and kind of aligning the MC plan to the LC level, because the first semester the LCs didn't have numerical planning, so everything that we were doing it was kind of out of this world, and that's why we are really focusing the semester on planning and planning collection, and then tracking from the MC level, and yes, and then IR downscaling. So here you saw that the conversion rates can be much more better. This is mostly coming from, and the process time as well, coming from lack of IR in the entity. It's something that I'm going to be talking mostly in IR section of the drivers, but it's also, of course, affecting the product purposes. But yeah. Okay. Global talent. Well, guys, so to be fully transparent, in the MC, we didn't have a proper global talent and global entrepreneur planning because of the results that, for example, you can here see last year, we have 59 approvals in GT and 20 something in GE. So based on that, we really choose to focus on GB side, and we kind of set aside during the first semester GE and GT, and focusing our LCs to GB. But this is the timeline for GT. I wouldn't say this is a timeline because there hasn't been anything done from the MC side. So like there isn't anything. Only thing that you can see here maybe is the peak of university timeline. So for example, you see a peak in April and September, which is the moment that the students are mostly searching for something like a longer internship and so on. But there hasn't been done anything for managing this timeline from the MC during the first semester. Okay, so plan versus achieved. As you can see, from last year to this year, we are increasing the goal just a bit. It's 70, and right now we are in 22, and realization 56, and sorry, 65, and we are at 21. It's going quite good. Like this product, I know that you saw in the application itself that maybe there will be a MCVP OGT position for the upcoming term. Right now we have a seeder that is working on the conversion rates, mostly in terms of in the stages of attraction with the LCVPs. As you can see here, the conversion rates are really low, especially applied to accepted. This is also coming from the lack of IR, and accept to approved. Well, it can be better because like it's GT, but it's also EP management lack of knowledge from the entity, which is not focusing on GT. So it's kind of normal, but for the upcoming term with the GT seeder, we are also looking forward to increase these conversion rates. And the process time is 34. Well, it's not ideal either. We don't have a process time goal. It's kind of in progress in this moment because we are creating the SOPs with the seeder. But so far, this is our current process time between applied to approved in GT. So yeah. And here you can see from which local committees coming these applicants. From also something that when it comes to attraction, like we have a lot of applicants, and as you can see, is on 10% from applicant. From applicant to approve is only 5%. So it's really low. And one of the reasons why is because of lack of attraction in this product. We don't know our market, we don't know who to sell it, and we don't have IR. So the idea is that everyone that goes in isaac.org, they're applying for GT, and we're having this kind of results that is like kind of looking good, but almost 70% of them are kind of fake. Fake meaning that the profiles that shouldn't be applying for GT are applying for GT. And that's the idea. And the idea right now is how's the development going for the. We are choosing markets to focus on and choosing which LCs do have the talent capacity, do have the knowledge and motivation to work with the national office so that we can make sure that these EPs are processed by the EP managers that have the SOP knowledge for specifically for GT with the IR partners. So this is the thing that is ongoing, that will transition to the MCLX. And here you can see also like who is approving the most in GT, which is again super random, super random. And yeah, I wouldn't take it account like a lot. But yeah, this is the current situation. Here you more. Main bottlenecks, of course, talent capacity. So as you know, in the MC level right now, there's one MCVP oGX handling 3 products, and it's the same in the local market. There's only LCVP oGX, even sometimes LCVP CXY, which is in France, the combination of marketing and oGX. So one VP handling all customer flow, which is really difficult in terms of local level, because in that case, We don't have the talent capacity to actually divide the customer flow in TLs, even though we have eventually. It's taken a lot of time with education, with members spending time in Isaac, and so on and so on. And one good thing is that one of the LCs called Lille, they just opened the structure of LCVP OGET. So they have actually in their local LCVP OGV and one LCVP OGET, which is something that we are also working with, and making sure that next year we can have this kind of structures for having better focus, especially on GT, because we know that like France in terms of market is really rich, and we can actually find a really good profiles if we only know where to focus with our IR partners. So that's the idea. And obviously no focus market, as I told you, because we really don't have an idea, and no planning. This is, I think, both from MC and LC level, because there's a really process of understanding the difference of products is really step low with the LC level, because when they sell, for example, it's selling everything. So there's no yet product differentiation in the entire entity, which is also something that needs to be taken into consideration when you talk about education of the network, which is the most important thing that is lacking in the moment. And ways forward, well, it's something that we are already focusing with the GT Cedar, is product building and market research, IR, and SOP education to the network. And with that, we will have kind of base that we can actually upscale next year with the MC Elect. So that's the idea. Let me check again if there's anyone in the call. Nope. Okay, cool. So global entrepreneur, again, it's the product that is giving us the least of results. Is 42 approvals last year, and it was even less before. So there hasn't been a really specific timeline, but as you can see here, there's a peak in September, January, and May towards July, towards the new year of the universities. So that can be also taken into consideration. Again, this is timeline is going to be only affected by the university timeline. Nothing has been done from the MC. Okay, so this is the plan versus achieved. As you can see, like we're not increasing that much our goal. 60 approvals, and currently we have 2, but we have our peak in summer peak again for this product, so it's okay. And realization same. And process time currently is 9.2, but I wouldn't take this into account that much, because as you can see, we have only 2 approvals. So yes, like it's another representative process time, I think, for the entire entity. The conversion rates itself, it's like it is shown. The entire 17, 18 was applied to accepted 20, accepted to approved 61, and applied to approved 12. And we are currently super low in terms of conversion, which is going to be again improved during summer peak as all products. Here, as again, you can see the ranking and conversion rates for each LC, and you can see the ranking. And if you want to keep the updated version for your applications and so on, you can also check the tool for getting more information. It is automatically updated. Is the same, literally. Talent capacity, no focus market, no planning. Our membership is only focusing on OGV mainly. We don't have members specialized in GE and GT, so it's the same issue. And ways forward is the same. It's something that we are also working with our GT Cedar as a side project for GE. And we have a national partnership with a school called MBWay, which is a communication school that signed us for sending people to GE. So mainly we have the market. It's just a matter of finding the IR partners and teaching SOPs to the network, and finding, again, EP managers that will be focusing on entirely this product. But yeah, this is the ways forward. But comparing to GE and GT, this is the 3rd priority product, I would say. So this is the product management. If you have any questions, you can reach me as well, but you can put it in the frequently asked questions. I will answer. and international relations going in. So this is our partners for the term 1819. Brazil, Indonesia, Morocco, Italy, Greece, Croatia. So only 2 of these entities are actually based on past approvals, is Brazil and Indonesia. Brazil currently is giving us 30% of our approval goal, and Indonesia is around 20, I would say. And then for Morocco, Italy, Greece, and Croatia, they're all work in progress partners. So meaning that basically at the beginning of 1819, we had a huge tendency for these entities, and these ones were high in applicant. So right now, currently, we are trying to increase and grow with these partners, but it's going to be decided at the end of the term, at the end of the peak, whether these partnerships were fruitful or not. The only thing we know is that Brazil and Indonesia are kind of ongoing partners that we have. And for a full analysis of any of things, I leave you here a link that is made for IPM. So it's made last week. Basically, it is again our timeline and entity analytics. So you can see here which entities are we approving with the most, with the stars of like to be discussed. So here you can see what is the current status. For example, we are actually, like, as an entity, we're dropping in this moment, but with only one partner we are growing, which is Morocco, which is super nice. But in terms of approvals, we are mostly dropping with our country partners, and you can here find the whole analysis of it. So I will just leave it here, and if you have any questions again, you can ask me. So what is the routine for international relations? Currently is one-to-one with MCVPs pre-peak. So to align marketing, to align attraction, to align process time, conversion rates, and selection processes. And for aligning marketing activities, so for example, like getting materials and so on and so on. And application tracking with NSTs. So NST-IR was not a thing during first semester because I was tracking my own. But during this last semester, since it's going to be our biggest peak of approvals, I have an ST for IR, which is both GV. Basically, the 2 focus is first international relations, then data analysis. So they're tracking the applicants, they're pushing the VPs, and they're also getting the daily communication with the IR partners, and that's their JD. And what is the bottleneck currently with IR? Like, why are we dropping? First, communication with partners. It was also kind of understanding how to work with IR. Since we don't have a historic in IR, that was also my main issue and bottleneck. And something that I had problem with is aligning timeline, because I was promising something, but then going to the second problem, LC downscaling. Since there was a lack of planning in the LC, I was not able to, unfortunately, align my planning with the LC planning, which resulted as a drop in IR partners with IR partner approval. So yeah, that's the idea of it. And if you saw the consultancy space of Aldo, which is the MCVP marketing, you can also see that we are currently dropping in signups and applicants. So there's an overall drop, which also is resulting with the drop with our entity partners as well. And then the last thing is network management. So what is the network of an MCVP oGX in Isaac in France? It's first LCVPs, then NSTs, and then membership. Basically, I have a routine with all of them. So LCVPs, we have weekly commission calls where I downscale weekly strategies and also track in terms of numerical plan versus achieve is a habit that we are trying to have in the entity. Then we have a weekly newsletter, which I will also put an example out of it, but is basically the thing that I showed you when it comes to conversion rates of each LCs and what is the plan versus achieve, how is it going, and if they have any uncontacted VPs on EPs on Expo, sorry, and what is the focus of the week, basically something that they need to fulfill, and we are focusing as an entity. And then quarter 101s, because I have 17 LCs, right? So I'm not giving them 100% of team standards implementation. Those is with the LCPs. I am giving them one-to-ones for evaluation of performance and also personal and professional goal setting. But besides that, that's it. It's quarterly. And then we have functional visits for education purposes or for boosting strategy and so on. This is the routine for the network management with the LCBPs. And of course, I have daily communication in the Messenger group. And also, we have a Facebook group, which I manage the ICOM of. Okay, so when it comes to NSDs, is weekly team meetings. And NSDs, I have currently 2. So it's going to be team standards implementation 100% virtually, and monthly one-on-ones for checking the personal development plans. And this is the routine for the NSDs. And the membership is monthly commission calls for also culture management, because it's a membership that is not used to being managed. And so there's a lack of culture in the commission itself, which is, as you know, is one of the most important things. And it's something that I am working on, and I hope to transition to my successor. And then functional visits, obviously, and conferences mostly for the neck downscaling and so on. But I would say the 80% of my time, of course, is network management, because 17 LCs. It's a lot based on the numerical results that we have. So 70% of my time is going to network management, daily communication with VPs in Messenger, and so on. So of course, also important point, if you want to reach any VP for the consultancy or for getting insights, you need to reach them on Messenger, because no one uses WhatsApp here. So yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. That's it. And if you have any questions, again, you can put them in the Q&A that I will also put under this post. And you can also reach me on my Messenger, on my phone. There's in the global contact list, so I can help you. But that's it. And really, really good luck. Thank you so much for being interested in this position. And yeah, do your best.